Hi guys, Jamie here. Now, today we're going to be talking about how to file for bankruptcy in Jamaica. But before that, if you're new, please subscribe. Also turn on your post notifications so once I upload any new videos, you'll be notified. And welcome back to my returning subscribers. Hope you all are liking the content so far. Leave a comment, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Also, if you guys have any ideas at all for future videos, you can just leave them in the comments as well. You can also connect with me on Twitter at jaradcliffe2030 or jaradcliffe on Instagram. Also, I finally got my community tab. I actually made my first post on Sunday, so you can go ahead and check that out too. I'll be posting there from time to time as well. Now, bankruptcy is not something that you hear about a lot in Jamaica. It's not like the US where you hear of persons filing for bankruptcy ever so often. Now, in my opinion, I think that we should try our best not to actually reach this stage where we need to actually file for bankruptcy. But things happen, and you'll never know when you may need to know this information. So, as I said, today we're going to be going over the process, where to go, and possibly a couple advantages of filing for bankruptcy. When you decide to file for bankruptcy in Jamaica, it's done through the Office of the Trustee of Bankruptcy. They call them the OTB for short. They are an arm of the Ministry of Justice. Now, while they handle bankruptcy for individuals, they normally tend to try and resolve individual issues without having to actually file for bankruptcy. They basically try to have the person filing for bankruptcy and the creditor come to an agreement for the person to pay off the loan without them having to actually file for bankruptcy. To file for bankruptcy in Jamaica, you need to owe at least $300,000. So that's 300,000 Jamaican dollars. Now, filing for bankruptcy is something that will affect your credit score because, as you know, Jamaica is going down the same path as US with credit scores and credit bureaus now coming into play. Right now, if you have a phone bill, let's say your cable or wireless or your digital phone bill, and you pay a bill at the end of the month, if you're late with these bills, they will affect your credit score, guys. So make sure you're paying these bills on time. Now, if you owe somebody, they can actually have you declared bankrupt. Normally, you see this happening with like bondholders for companies and so on, where if the company is not able to pay back the loans and such, then the bondholder would have the company wound up to get back the monies that they are owed. Okay, so what is the exact process to apply for bankruptcy in Jamaica? The first thing you need to do is to actually set up an interview with the OTB for them to hear your case to see if it is that you would need to file for bankruptcy. Now, you also need to show where persons are pretty much coming after you to collect their money. So you want to show them like demand letters, emails, any correspondence that you get with these people saying that, listen, we want with money. This is what they basically need to see. So after this first interview, once you go through or pass the interview, if you want to put it like that, then you come up to the second step. Now, once you reach the second interview, your bankruptcy proceeding basically on point already. When you go to the second interview, what you need to do here is to actually fill out the papers for the bankruptcy proceeding to start. Now, one of the main things that you fill out here is a statement of affairs. Now, as with everything in Jamaica, we know it all comes at a cost. To fill out the forms for filing bankruptcy, you're going to need to pay $20,000 for administrative fees, and that's a minimum. So there is a possibility that it could go higher than the $20,000 that you have to pay at first. You also need to print your statement of affairs. Now, the statement of affairs costs $750 to print, and you need two of these. So pretty much you need $1,500 to have this part done. So on the initial onset, guys, you need basically 21,500 just to get the ball rolling. Now, once you pass step 2 and the documents are filed with the court, because that's the next step, to file the documents for bankruptcy with the court. Once the court accepts your bankruptcy filing, what they do is issue something called an absolute order. Now, this order will tell you how much you need to pay per month, how long to pay in order to settle all the debts that you owe. You see, with these court orders, guys, we need to be careful because the court can actually take your pay. They can actually write directly to your employer and tell him that, listen, you need to take $10,000 out of Jamie money and pay it over to YouTube every month or whatever, something like that. But your job pretty much has to comply. They have to do it because it's a legal court order. So keep that in mind, cool? Now, when you are declared bankrupt, you may have some advantages. Now, one of the biggest things when you are declared bankrupt is that everybody dealing with you will now need to go through the OTB to get to you. So, you see where you now want to have the bailiff and all of them people are call your phone and basically run you down and all of them things there, all of that have to stop. Them have to now go through the OTB if they want to collect their money. And next thing, you see, once you get that absolute order, no more interest can calculate on your debt. So every interest stop right there. So the day you get that order from the court, nobody can calculate any more interest on any money that you owe. You might also be able to get your interest rate capped to about 6%, but this is not normally guaranteed based on what the OTB says. Now, as I said before, guys, the OTB sometimes will try to act as a mediator between someone that is declaring bankruptcy and their creditors, because if it is that you can have someone come in between and kind of negotiate and find something that everybody can live with, then that is better than actually having to declare bankruptcy. Now, personally, I think this is one of the better options because having to go to the bank and negotiate sometimes, it might feel a bit daunting. So having them in the middle, I would feel more comfortable going to the bank, trying to get some more favorable terms and such in order to try and pay off my loans and all of that. I said, this will take off some of the stress off you because them incessant calling here from the bill collectors, I know, it can be hard. Trust me. So people, these are just a couple of the things that you need to know if it reaches a stage where you may need to file for bankruptcy. Now, if you reach this point, it can be for a number of reasons. One of the things that I would say to look out for is be very, very careful about who you try to borrow money for or who you try to borrow money on behalf of, people. Be very careful. It doesn't matter whether it's for personal purpose or business purpose. Just be careful who you're going to borrow money for. I had to pay back a loan once that a business partner basically just left on me. No, this loan wasn't in their name, it was in my name. So I couldn't go to the bank and say that, hey, John Brown owe you, it's not me because I took the loan on behalf of John Brown. The bank could have basically run me with that. That don't make no sense. So I have to now go in and pay off that loan, even though I pretty much really didn't get any economic benefit from that loan. It never really made me better in no way. So think about that, guys. But the next thing too, me personally now go really fully write off getting a loan for somebody because that is how I started out. If my mother never get the loan for me, then me wouldn't actually able to start out and do all the things that me do. So you still need somebody who believe in you at the end of the day to try with you. But if you are going to try with somebody, people, be sure who you are trying with. Them have to exhibit a particular type of mentality, a particular mindset for no say. Them not going to just leave you stranded at the end of the day. You understand me? So think about that. But thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up. What I'm also going to do is to leave a link to the OTB's website in the description below. So you can go ahead and take a look at their information if you'd like. Because as I always say, you need to do your own research. Alright? So until next week, guys. Bye-bye.